Picture this, the year 1066, an army of farmers against a well-trained cavalry. This was the Battle of Hastings. The stage was set for an unlikely event, an event that forever changed the course of English history. Imagine being a part of the English army, made up largely of farmers and tradesmen, hastily gathered to defend their homeland against a well-prepared, well-equipped Norman force led by William, the Duke of Normandy. The odds were stacked against them, yet they stood their ground. The English army under King Harold fought valiantly against the Normans, but the disparity in preparation and skill was evident. This battle was a clash of two worlds, the old Anglo-Saxon England against the burgeoning influence of Norman culture. A battle that started with an unexpected invasion ended with a significant change in England's history. Meet William the Conqueror, the man who decided to take what he believed was rightfully his. Born out of wedlock to a French noblewoman and the Duke of Normandy, William's claim to the English throne was far from straightforward. Yet his determination was unshakable. He believed that his distant cousin, Edward the Confessor, had promised him the throne. When Edward died and Harold Godwinson took the crown instead, William was incensed. His ambition was titanic, matched only by his resolve. He assembled a formidable army and set his sights across the English Channel. His claim to the throne was under dispute, but his determination to seize it was not. He was ready to stake everything on this one grand, audacious gamble. It was this ambition, this audaciousness, that set the stage for the Battle of Hastings. Determined and relentless, William's ambition changed the course of history. Imagine being called to fight a battle after a long day of work. This was the reality for the English soldiers. This scene takes us to the day of the Battle of Hastings, where the English army was largely composed of farmers, not hardened warriors. After a long day tilling the soil, these men were summoned to the battlefield, equipped with little more than their agricultural tools and a profound sense of duty. The intensity of their situation was exacerbated by their lack of preparation. They were not trained soldiers ready for combat, but ordinary men who were tired and worn out from a day's work. This was not a fair fight. They were going against a well-prepared and rested Norman army, equipped with superior weaponry and a strategic plan. Yet the Englishmen did not falter. They didn't have the luxury of rest or preparation, but they did have resilience. Despite their exhaustion, these men faced a well-equipped army head-on. Now imagine facing an army of well-trained soldiers armed to the teeth. This was the Norman army. The Normans were not just warriors. They were a well-oiled machine of destruction. Their training regimen was rigorous, transforming mere men into formidable soldiers. Each Norman soldier was a master of the sword, the spear, and the bow. Their skills were only further amplified by their superior weaponry. Their weapons were not just instruments of war, but extensions of their bodies. Crafted from the finest materials, these weapons were designed to pierce through the toughest of armors. But what truly set the Normans apart was their use of horses. The image of a Norman knight charging on his horse is one that has been etched into the annals of history. These horses were not just modes of transport, but living, breathing weapons. Their speed and power added a lethal edge to the Norman onslaught. The English were ill-prepared for this kind of warfare. Their superior training and equipment gave the Normans a significant advantage. The stage was set, the players were ready. The Battle of Hastings had begun. On the morning of October 14th, 1066, the trumpet of war echoed across the rolling hills. The English, led by King Harold, had taken a defensive position atop Senlac Hill, forming a shield wall that looked out over the Norman forces. The Normans, under the command of Duke William, faced a daunting uphill battle. Their initial strategy was a direct assault, but they found the English shield wall to be an impenetrable barrier. Wave after wave of Norman knights crashed against this wall, only to be repelled with fierce resistance. The English, although outnumbered, had chosen their battlefield wisely. The high ground provided them with a clear view of the advancing enemy and allowed them to use gravity to their advantage. Despite their disadvantage, the English held the high ground, a strategic advantage. Just when the English thought they had the upper hand, the tide turned. The Battle of Hastings, already fraught with tension and uncertainty, was about to take an unexpected twist. The English, standing strong behind their shield wall, felt a momentary sense of victory. But the Normans had a trick up their sleeve. They feigned a retreat, tricking the English into breaking their formation to pursue them. It was a clever ruse, and it worked. The English, in their pursuit of glory, found themselves in a precarious situation. The shield wall, their protective barrier, had fallen. The Normans, seizing this opportunity, turned back and attacked with renewed vigor. The English, caught off guard, struggled to regain their footing. It was a pivotal moment, a turning point in the battle that would change the course of history. In the end, it was the Normans' cunning strategy that turned the tide in their favor. A tactical move that showcased their shrewd understanding of warfare and their determination to win. In the midst of the chaos, a king fell. King Harold II, last of the Anglo-Saxon kings, met his end on the battlefield. The circumstances surrounding his death, however, are shrouded in controversy. Some accounts suggest that he was struck down by a Norman knight, while others claim he was felled by an arrow to the eye. Despite the differing narratives, all agree on one thing. King Harold II met a warrior's end, fighting valiantly for his kingdom till his last breath. This was more than the fall of a king. It was a turning point in the Battle of Hastings, a blow from which the English forces never fully recovered. Harold's death left a void in command, causing disarray among the English ranks. The Normans capitalized on this confusion, pressing their advantage with renewed vigor. With the death of their king, the English lost their leader and their hope. The Battle of Hastings was over, but its effects were just beginning. With the dust of the battlefield clearing, a new era dawned on England. The victor, William of Normandy, soon to be known as William the Conqueror, ascended to the English throne. His reign brought about profound changes in the country. A shift in power dynamics was immediate as the Normans replaced the Anglo-Saxon elite. This transition was far from seamless, with resistance and rebellion often met with brutal repression. The introduction of the feudal system further entrenched the Norman dominance, with land being granted to William's loyal followers. The cultural landscape also transformed. The Normans brought with them a new language, architecture, and customs, weaving a rich tapestry of Anglo-Norman culture. The Domesday Book, a comprehensive record of landholding in England, was a testament to the systematic and organized approach of the new rulers. The Battle of Hastings left a lasting impact on England, forever changing its history. Over 900 years later, the Battle of Hastings continues to shape England. This monumental event left an indelible mark on the country, molding not just its political landscape but also its cultural fabric and linguistic roots. The Norman victory brought about a seismic shift in power, ushering in a new era of Norman rule that significantly influenced the governance of England. The impact permeated deeper, altering the very essence of English culture. It introduced new architectural styles, reshaping the country's skyline with majestic Norman cathedrals and formidable castles. The influence was no less profound in the realm of language. English, infused with the French of the Norman conquerors, evolved dramatically, giving birth to the rich, multifaceted language we know today. This battle, far from being a mere historical footnote, remains a cornerstone of England's identity, shaping the nation's trajectory in profound ways. The Battle of Hastings, a pivotal moment in history, continues to echo through the ages. So, what have we learned about the Battle of Hastings? We've journeyed through a pivotal moment in history, tracing the steps of kings and warriors. We've discovered the unexpected nature of the battle, a clash ignited by a broken promise. We met William the Conqueror, the man who dared to invade a kingdom, and the unprepared English, caught off guard by the audacious assault. We've delved into the Norman advantage, the tactical prowess that tipped the scales in their favor. We've walked through the battlefield as the conflict commenced, and witnessed the tide turn as the Normans gained the upper hand. We've mourned the death of King Harold, a pivotal moment that sealed England's fate. We've seen the aftermath of the battle, the profound changes it brought about, and the legacy it left behind, shaping England and its culture. All these elements of history remind us that it's not just about events, but also about the people and the choices they made. Remember, history is not just about the events, but also about the people and the choices they made.